Hey, it's Morphic Nerd. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me try that again. Hey, it's Morphic Nerd here today, and we're on the next video. I said I was watching it right after, and I legit did. Right after. We're on Game Theory, FNAF, The Secret Afton. FNAF Security Breach. Alright. So, remember what happened in the last one? He had a lot of questions about Vanessa, and what that was all about, and how it tied into the story, because nobody really knows. But we're gonna figure it out right now. Pretty much, yeah. So the secret Afton, probably Vanessa. And you know what? With that being said, let's begin the video. Taking another deep dive, starting it off in 3, 2, 1, play.
Gregory, do you see that bit of green spinach in your teeth? Have you ever heard of Fortnite, Gregory? You need to floss.
What?
You need to floss, Gregory.
That's so bad. It's terrible.
Well,
This is awful.
is embarrassing. I'm gonna let you guys have this one, and I'll see you next game. I always come back, and you know the bit.
I always come back and you know the bit.
We just win?
No, we did not, superstar.
No. Not even close. That was great. Yeah, I feel like, does it 27? Oh, that's just 2011. I thought it said 2077. It's 2077. But, yeah, I wish Afton had said I always come back.
Hello, Internet.
That'd be amazing.
Welcome to
If
Game
Burn
Theory,
Trap
the show
said
that's
that,
proud to pick the
be
nerdiest
amazing.
option available.
Anyone that picks Monty Golf is just a nerd.
Woo! Gator Golf. Joke's on you, Mark. Fazcam is OP.
No, it is not. No, it is not. It is not. My fast cam was absolute garbage. And Mark, I did pick Monty Golf, so that's reasonable. Fast cam is absolute trash. I don't care what anybody else says. Blaster is so much better than fucking fast cam.
Plus, being a nerd allowed me to discover the secret daycare room and sister location room. So who's the nerd now?
Probably still you.
Me.
And me.
Still me. Last
Both of
time
us.
we dove into the time travel ball pit that is Five Nights at Freddy's security breach, I walked
My
away with
Fazzer
some,
cam
let's just
sucked.
call them divisive conclusions. Basically, it was an episode with 3 separate theories packaged together.
That
We
all seemed
proposed one,
accurate.
that Glamrock Freddy wasn't just your average sentient animatronic, but rather was possessed by the spirit of Michael Afton, doing
Remnant.
everything he can to protect Gregory. This one was generally well received.
Yes,
so, cool,
that was
let's keep
amazing.
going.
That was
Why
perfect.
would Michael protect this random kid? Well, because 2, Gregory, whether literally or symbolically, is Michael's younger brother, FNAF 4's crying child. I started to lose people
Reasonable.
at this point, but it was
That's
really theory number
reasonable.
3 that
I
threw
like
us for a
it.
loop, because there's a good bit of evidence in both the game and in the history of the franchise to suggest that 3, Gregory is a robot, the crying child's consciousness literally transplanted into a robotic body
Accurate.
sometime after he dies in the bite of 83.
I believe it all.
Oh, and there were a lot of strong opinions on that, with some people
Matt,
really
what are you
liking the
doing?
theory, and others, not so much.
Matt,
Suddenly I
Pat,
was
what are you
flooded by
doing?
people saying that I had rushed it out just to ride the trend, or that it was my dumbest theory ever, to which I say no, Deadpool is Ernest Hemingway is my dumbest theory ever. Closely followed by Wario being 10 feet tall. Anyway, the outcry was so huge that I ended up trending on Twitter
Always
because
gets
of it,
worse.
You know, didn't get much better from there. Weird side note, later in the
I'm
same
sorry,
week, I
Matt.
was trending again because a group of performers juggled to the song Megalovania during an event for none other than the Pope. It only took 5 years, my friends, but it looks like that Steam code I gave him for Undertale finally paid off.
That's funny.
Anyway, like I said, a lot of heated opinions
I like
on the
it.
last one. With Twitter basically boiling down this 18-minute long, 4,000-word theory down to this single image. So, yeah, thanks. Thanks for not including literally anything else from that last video. So
Nice.
before we get to the next theory all about Vanessa,
Let's
let's
do
just
it.
address some of the biggest counterpoints I saw to the previous theory.
Skip
Not
2.
because
Nah,
I'm
we're not
convinced
gonna
I'm
skip.
right.
Why
Far
not?
from it, in fact. But because I think that
We don't
Gregory
skip
is crying child
in this
theory currently fits the best with everything
theory
the game has
version.
presented
Let's
to us
watch
thus
it.
far. First, one of the key pieces of evidence last episode was this line right at the start of the game where Freddy says to Gregory,
I feel you are broken.
this, to me, was a clear connection back to the crying child from FNAF 4, 4, where psychic friend Fredbear says to him, "You are broken."
Of course.
I mean, kind of speaks for itself. It's a
Yeah.
parallel that's made stronger
It's
when you actually
reasonable.
remember how that line gets delivered back in that game. There was really no way of knowing back when FNAF 4 was released, but thanks to a secret room found in Sister Location, we know that psychic friend Fredbear is actually a plushie with a walkie-talkie inside of him. A walkie-talkie that allowed William Afton to scare and manipulate his youngest son. Father of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. Also know that
Yay.
throughout FNAF 4, all of William's lines use the color FFFF57, a bright golden yellow.
Remember that,
Funny
guys.
golden yellow makes sense.
FFFF57.
The iconic final lines of "You're broken,
57.
I put it back together" actually use a different
fa-fa-fa.
color, a lighter yellow, FFFFA0.
The
Back then,
fa-fa-fa-fa?
we never really came to a satisfying explanation.
The
Was it a
Feo?
mistake? Was it another spirit? Was it maybe the puppet? But now, 7 years of
Scott doesn't do mistakes. He doesn't do coincidences, guys. Come on.
investigation later, we know for sure someone else is indeed talking here. Someone who, in Sister Location, is mistaken for his dad. Someone who turns purple just like his dad. Someone who can't die like his dad. And someone who had the lines immediately prior apologizing to his kid brother, but when that didn't get through, decided to try comforting him through the voice of his best friend. It's
Mike.
Michael Afton,
It's Mike,
represented by
isn't it?
a lighter color of yellow.
It's
a color
Mike, isn't
that
it?
symbolically connects him back to his father.
Of
In short,
course.
we have Michael Afton in FNAF 4 saying the line "You're broken" to his brother through the voice of a Fredbear plush.
It took
And
us
here in
7
Security
years to
Breach,
realize
if
that.
we're right about all this, we once again have him saying the same line. "You're broken" to his brother through the voice of another Freddy, this time Glamrock Freddy. I personally think it's a really cool narrative connection between all these games. But a lot of people were quick to point out that there's dialogue in the game files that was cut from the final
Come on,
release, where
Scott.
Freddy says that
You're giving
Gregory
Matt a
is
seizure
bleeding.
over here.
Specifically, he says,
Your arm is cut badly.
And-
I am detecting blood. You are injured.
this, for many people, disproved that Gregory's an animatronic, and I actually have two things to say about that. First, when I've used cut lines of dialogue in the past, the internet has in no uncertain terms told me that I can't. But now apparently it's okay. Kinda inconsistent there, guys, and honestly I think cutting it, regardless of the reason, shows that it didn't fit the final creative intent of the game. But anyway,
The
if
power
that's
of the
case, I
internet.
gotta bring this line up. A cut line of dialogue discovered by GB Aura Recharged in the game files. This one is Freddy saying,
Gregory, I know why you're not in the customer database. I remember you from the...
and it cuts off. Obviously, it's vague. It's kept very intentionally vague. But it
I
also
remember
shows that
you
Gregory
from
is
the-
special in a way that the other disappeared kids aren't. There's a reason he's not in the customer base. He's from somewhere specific that Freddy knows about. If I were to guess, I'd say like the underground pizzeria, but you know, that's just me hypothesizing. Adding to the
Possibly.
Gregory is special idea is the fact that Chica knows his name. She calls it out in the middle of the pizzeria.
Yeah. She literally, and she's the only one that does that. She's the only one that does that. Throughout the, that's like the first thing I said when I was like hiding from Chica. I was like, "How do you know my name?" I say that in one of my playthroughs. I think, unless I cut it out. But I legit was walking around and she was like, "Gregory," and I was like, "How do you know my name?" I was like hiding from her. It was amazing.
Strange detail for a kid who supposedly has no records in the system. Secondly,
Whatever.
and I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but in the books, because everybody loves when I go back to that well, animatronic children do actually bleed. They can also cry and feel cold.
Ooh.
Heck, they can even feel hungry and eat. And you don't even have to go to the books for that one. You can just see it
Damn.
with Chica's pizza obsession in Security Breach. So to tell me
Right.
that a robot child can't bleed, I think you gotta really look at the franchise that we're talking
They
about.
were like, why is Chica eating anything? Why is she programmed to eat? It's confusing as hell.
About here. And for everyone who is confused about the timeline of Crying Child still being alive and the fact that he would be
Who
older
made
at
these
this point,
robots?
that wouldn't actually be the case. Animatronic children in the books stay at whatever age they're built to be. Charlotte Emily
Right.
actually had 4 separate versions of herself built, one for each stage of her life. So that way she
Correct.
could grow older, but she would just assume a new animatronic body each time. So Crying Child still being young would actually make more sense here. And to everyone saying, why would he say stuff like,
Don't want to be crushed and twisted into a meat pretzel.
no, again, Charlotte in the books is shocked to learn her true nature in the final chapters. Her consciousness had been grafted onto a childhood toy while she was alive, and after
Full
Oh,
Sail
come on.
University is a place where creative dreamers go to learn their craft.
Not right now.
her tragic death had been placed inside of her robot body to function as her memory. So for all she knew, she was just a normal human being just like anyone else. Is it dumb? Yeah, I'll say that it is. Is it complicated? Oh yeah, absolutely. But is it giving us insight into the rules that Scott and everyone who touches this universe operate by? Yes, it undeniably is.
Imagine having, like,
for everyone who spammed
at
my
the
feed with pictures
storyboard
of sad white boys in striped shirts saying that you had found the crying child, thank you for your help uncovering the lore.
Imagine,
I get the
like-
joke. All white boys.
Imagine like going into a storyboard meeting and with like you do work for the company and they just give you like a literal book of rules that they have to read through and follow in order to add to this franchise. Ridiculous.
Brown
But
hair and striped
has
shirts
to be
are
done.
apparently the crying
Has
child.
to be done.
But remember what series we're talking about here, friends. Visual design details have always been an important part of figuring these games out. Take a look
Scott,
at Baby.
don't
During
do
Sister Location, she has
coincidences.
green eyes, but when you play her minigame, she has blue ones. At least until she kills
Correct.
Elizabeth Afton, who, lo and behold, had green eyes.
100.
Superficial design features like this help us to connect the dots. Are they the be-all and end-all of evidence? No, but they do help support an argument. So a little brown-haired boy in shorts with a shirt and 2 stripes seems sus.
Have you ever heard of Among Us, Gregory?
Speaking of eyes, for all the
Funny.
complaints about the last episode, no one seemed to have any answers
You have
to
to
what I see
vent
as the
Gregory.
2 strongest pieces of physical evidence here. Why does Gregory look different when Freddy gets Roxy's X-ray eyes?
Right.
And secondly, why does Gregory's vision glitch when he sees Vanny?
Right.
Why does he have such a weird visual reaction to her and to literally no other character in the game? Well, you hear that high-pitched ringing sound as Vanny skips and
Yeah.
gets closer?
I thought it was like a cell phone jammer, like the jammers built into her
Seems to be
suit.
a disruptor that makes her invisible to animatronics with older model eyes.
Right.
In the fire ending, Freddy, who couldn't see her at any point in the game, explicitly says,
I can see you now. I have new eyes.
I mean, this is exactly how the much-hated sound illusion discs from the books work, creating a high-frequency sound to make people
Right.
and robots invisible and or look differently, but I'm already fighting a losing battle over here, so I'm just gonna gloss over that.
Also
Anyway,
true.
to me, it reads as Gregory's robotic eyes being disrupted. I mean, why have CRT lines over the screen and not some other type of filter to show that his vision is getting disrupted? In fact, why have the same CRT lines as the security cameras all around the Pizzaplex? But there's one final piece of evidence I'd like to talk about to help solidify that previous theory before we move on, and that is the screenshot here of the final scene from the Savior ending, where you rescue Vanny from the control of glitch trap. And I use quotation marks here because there aren't any official sources giving names to the various endings. In the game
Right.
files, they're just labeled as S1, S2, and S3 based on the number of stars that you get for them. It is worth noting, though, that this is the only 3-star ending that currently exists, which seems to imply that it has some level of importance to it. But here we see our 3 main characters, Gregory, Freddy, and Vanessa, all sitting.
Oh wait, then the one with Burn Trap isn't the true ending? What? That's what everyone. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. If the endings don't actually have names, then how do you know which one's the true ending? Maybe that's the point? I don't know. I thought the one with Burn Trap was the true ending. Maybe. I thought it was. Never mind.
Sitting on a hill, which,
do.
as I pointed out last time, is very similar to the FNAF 6 gravestone hill. But that's not what's important here. What I want to point out is the ice cream. Gregory is holding a golden Freddy-shaped ice cream with part of its head bitten off. If Gregory is not meant to parallel back to the crying child in any way, shape,
Funny.
or form, then this detail is just mean and irresponsible.
It's ironic.
This
Come
ice
on,
cream
guys.
is the crying child's story coming full circle. He was terrified of animatronics and ended up being bitten by the golden Freddy spring suit, but now he's the one sitting on a hill taking a big old bite out of Golden Freddy. That is not me reading too much into this. That is me lightly interpreting a very clear image that was put directly into this game by the
Very
designers.
important
It is
detail.
barely even subtle. And despite him wearing a blue shirt in most of the endings, here his shirt is colored purple, just like his father's signature color. Couple that with literally everything else. His lack of reference, the
Right.
fact that he goes into the charging station. So I stand by my theory that Gregory is an animatronic of the crying child. Is it a perfect answer?
We haven't even
No.
gotten
Do
to
I
the
love
actual
fact that it
theory of this
complicates the lore
episode.
even more?
This is just him
No.
defending
Does it
his other
answer the
theory.
most questions with the
Which is
evidence that we
fine.
have?
I don't-
believe
that's
it
good,
does,
man.
and it's a heck of a lot better than Fazgoo. But now, 4
Right.
pages into this episode, let's actually stop to talk about Vanessa, shall we?
Yes!
Last episode, I made a passing statement about
Sorry.
how this final
That
image
was-
felt
that was
to me
a little
like the 3
much.
Afton children getting reunited.
That's how much
Crying
I like
Child,
her Vanessa.
Michael, and Elizabeth Afton, William's daughter that done
Of
got
which
scooped by Baby
I know
back
nothing
in sister
about.
location. It's a scene that, to me, feels like the narrative finally giving them a sense of closure after they quite literally die as a result of their dad's evil deeds. Last time I briefly made mention of Vanessa's blonde hair and green eyes, which is the same as Elizabeth. And here, in this ending, we actually see 2 scenes of her wearing the signature Afton purple. Even the ice cream cone, as opposed to something like Gregory's novelty pop, is a potential callback to her death, where Baby delivered an ice cream cone to her before she did the scoop. And
I will say one thing though, in the original, like not like the official trailer for the Five Nights at Freddy's, but the one that came out like a year ago, the like original, the first ever one. I did a reaction on it. The first ever one trailer that released, where you saw Gregory going down the tube and you saw Vanessa kind of like there like this and in like a shocked expression just watching him. She had yellow eyes and blonde hair. She had blonde hair and yellow eyes, which I don't know if I'm fairly certain that she had yellow eyes, guys. I'm fairly certain. I don't know if that was a detail that they changed to like add to the lore to make this ending make more sense, and so you can like correlate all this stuff. But there is also another chance that this thing Map has talking about is not actually true, just because of that fact. I hope he mentions that, because and then disproves what I'm saying, because that would make me feel a lot better rather than just debunking this theory. But yeah. Continue.
when you look at the connections between these 2 characters, it's more than just a couple of visual similarities. The biggest secret in Security Breach right now is a series of 16 retro CDs, invisible collectibles that only Freddy can see, hidden in every obscure corner of the game's map.
Yeah, I didn't have time for that. I just went right past it.
Then, to play these things, you actually need to have also found the secret sister location room that we talked about last time. Now,
Right.
these CDs are, they're problematic. They
Find the
open up
order.
a whole separate can of worms.
What's the
They're
order?
recordings of therapy sessions following 2 separate individuals, Patient 46 and Patient 71. The exact identity of Patient 46 is a theory for next time that will absolutely launch us into yet another flame war, but early in
Let's do
Patient
it.
71's tapes, we learned that it's actually Vanessa speaking.
Hello, Vanessa. How are you feeling today?
These are recordings from therapy sessions that Vanessa had while she was at the job for the FNAF AR game's special delivery. She mentioned speaking to a man named Lewis on several occasions, and we discover that she's also buying fake fur, both of which are things that we see in emails from FNAF AR. By the last
Yeah, well, maybe she's just this is the furry fursuiter, you know? Like, we buy fake fur all the time and stitch it. And, you know, maybe. No. Possibly. No. Yeah, we know what she's doing with it.
to Vanessa's recordings, she's leaving that job for a new job somewhere else, most likely the job of security guard.
That, if you check the messages, she does have not, she is not, what the fuck's the word? It's like a requirement. She's not, shit, what is the word? When you're at a job and, she doesn't meet the proper requirements, that's not it. Like, she's not who they want for the job, or if you read the messages, you'll figure that out, but damn, I'm blanking. Okay, continue.
Here in Security Breach.
I'm needed somewhere else now.
But let's dive into the good stuff, shall we? In Vanessa's second tape, we learn about a custody battle that happened between her parents. Her dad won using manipulative tactics, forcing his daughter to falsely testify.
Your dad made you follow instructions, didn't he? I'm talking about the custody battle between your mum and your dad. Your dad didn't play fair, did he? He used to make your
Nope.
mum look bad in court.
After losing custody of her daughter, Vanessa's mother.
How do you
well,
know
here's
that?
what the tape does.
I know your mum after she lost the custody case.
It glitches, implying that her mother ended her own life, which would explain why Mrs. Afton is missing from all the games, and why she may have wound up being rebuilt as the motherly Ballora in Sister Location. A robot that, wouldn't you know it, sings about her inescapable depression now that the walls of her house are empty.
All I see is an empty room. No more joy, an empty tomb.
My head is
also hear
just
Vanessa lines
spinning
like
right
this.
now. I don't
Hey,
even
do you ever
know.
walk into a room and completely forget why you're there?
Nope.
Oh, You like those? Apparently, the janitor on this floor has a garden and has been putting bouquets in the offices here for years.
Vanessa likes flowers. A small detail, but you know me, small details can often be the biggest evidence. Who else do we know in the series that has an affinity for flowers? Well, think back to FNAF 4. Remember this random empty bedroom with a huge portrait of a flower on the wall? It's Elizabeth's room before she got scooped. Then you have Vanessa lines like this.
Lots of people know more than I do. Sometimes I need to listen.
Now, this might be a stretch, but I believe it's referring to when Elizabeth got scooped by Baby. Her dad had repeatedly and explicitly warned her not to go near Baby, but she didn't listen. And in doing so, she ended up getting herself trapped inside the animatronic.
Don't tell Daddy that I'm here. I wanted to watch a show too. I don't know why he won't let me come see you. You're wonderful.
Vanessa also says in her tapes that she doesn't like dark basements.
But Vanessa doesn't have a British accent. That might be something that happened when she was made. It might have been taken out, or it might have been changed. Oh. Matt, you're really forcing me to believe this, and I'm kind of just like, I'm on the fence, but I really shouldn't be. And you're trying to just like, but I'm like, that one time, but then there's all this other evidence that is like getting stacked on top of me, and I just like, I can't hold it up any longer.
I have a craft space in my basement. Maybe I could come up with something you could learn to do.
I don't like dark basements.
It's another line that seems to be pointing us in the direction of Baby, who was trapped underground for years in Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals, looking for a way back to the surface.
I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here. There is nowhere to go.
And to put one final nail in this coffin, right back in the second CD, we actually learn the name of Vanessa's father.
I feel like I know your dad, too. Bill, right?
Bill is short for William.
Wait, it is!
Just a game showing us with the coincidence, right? Wrong. See,
Bill.
back to FNAF AR, we learned that Vanessa's last name begins with an A. From there, we can connect the dots. Bill A, William Afton. But didn't Baby burn?
Good old Bill. What do I even say?
End of FNAF 6? Well, yeah, she did, but you see how effective that was.
How are you not dead? I mean, to be fair, the thought that burning him is going to work is stupid, because people have tried to burn him to death no less than 3 times in this franchise. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work.
But here's the kicker. At the end of the game, we meet the Blob, a weird tentacle monster made up of all the original members of the series. FNAF 1's Chica and Bonnie, FNAF 2's Mangle, Sister Location's Funtime Freddy, a random endoskeleton crawling out of the bottom, the puppet mask without tears, I might point out, and Baby's face. Now, don't get me started on this being Baby's original face and not Scrap Baby's updated look where she came back to FNAF 6 in. I have words about that. Anyway, look at them all here on screen. You notice anything strange? Most of the animatronics' eyes are lit up. Funtime Freddy, Chica, Mangle, even this random endoskeleton at the bottom. But now take a look back at Baby's mask.
But Baby's and the marionette are not.
The Blob has absorbed Baby's body during the burning down of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. Her spirit,
didn't get the
spirit
remnant.
of Elizabeth Afton, is no longer present. It is unaccounted for. It is on the loose, and as such, potentially at large within the game. Is she in some way Vanessa? And if so, how?
This kind of goes back to what Matt said. Pat said, a little while ago about how not Vanessa, about how Circus Baby was actually the was going to be like the big bad in not this game, but like at the end of the books. I don't really know. Oh, both of that. With like the Stitch Wraith or whatever the hell it's called. I don't remember. But that's amazing because that kind of makes sense. Because, like, they have to have some form of relationship. Devoted follower, you know. Devoted father? No, that doesn't make sense. But,
The truth is, I don't know. This game has got my brain in so many knots I might as well be a sailboat. I don't think there's any evidence to support any conclusion at this point in time. But I do know that this is what evidence is heavily pointing us towards. The design similarities, the missing spirit, the purple color, the ice cream, the voice lines, the personality traits, and again, the narrative theme of 3 Afton kids reuniting and moving on after a traumatic past. It gives everyone this nice full circle ending, even if it's only meant to be symbolic. And the screen really does does feel like it's the end, finally, for these 3 characters. Maybe next time we'll finally see some new faces. So enough about them, we're moving past those 3. There's still other mysteries that we have to solve here. What happened to Glamrock Bonnie?
Yes!
Who is Patient 46?
Don't know who that
Why are
is.
they here? What's the deal with that room full of Post-it notes?
Ah.
I forgot about that one, didn't you? It's
a little.
important. And did you happen to notice the other missing animatronic from this game? Because I certainly did, and I think
Foxy?
they might be hiding in plain sight. So next time, we get to cover some mysteries that don't require us talking about dead characters getting rebuilt into robots. Scratch that. We're talking about William Afton. That's kind of unavoidable at this point. Oh, this franchise is so ridiculous. Anyway, next time, we're going to sweep up a few other mysteries as we try to make more sense out of the game that quite literally threw everything against the wall to see what would stick. Speaking of things sticking on walls, why don't you spice up your decor with some 80s-tastic magnetic posters that stick on your walls with today's sponsor, Displate. Who needs a time travel?
Displate's pretty cool.
When you can
I don't
those
have any
bright neon
Displate, but
colors and
Displate's
designs on each and
it's
every one of your walls.
it's
I don't
nice.
know about you, but I love using posters to decorate. But paper posters.
I need
can
more
start to feel a
FNAF
bit
posters
flat
in my
and tired
room,
over time.
everywhere,
They can
all the
fade,
time.
they can rip.
And be
This is where
perfect.
Displate comes in. They use metal to make their posters so that the bright colors and designs always pop, never fade, and don't feel cheap like paper.
Does it
scotch taped
rust,
against the
though?
wall. Plus, unlike the animatronics that we brutally tear apart in this game, these
Yeah.
metal posters are incredibly durable. Fazbear
Still
Entertainment,
feel
listen
bad
up,
about
because we've all seen
destroying-
how Monty likes
mainly
to trash his
Monty,
room, but this
actually.
could be the solution for you. They survived
Out of
a
all the
cross-country
people
move
I've
for us,
destroyed
looking
in the
just as good
games,
as
I
they
feel
did when
worse
we
about
began,
Monty
so
because
why
he's
not
like
a
the most
rampaging
painful.
alligator animatronic with millions of designs to choose from. You're never gonna
That's saying
run
a
out of
lot,
ways to
'cause one
dress
got hit
up
by
your
a
bedroom,
car.
your
That's
living room, your office, your dorm room. They should probably let Vanny
Like in the
know. I get that
face.
she's going for that whole creepy serial killer vibe, but there's so much more to interior design than just dirty walls and writing your name on them. They have tons of designs with Five Nights at
she's
Freddy's, but
insane.
FNAF's
She's
not
a
for you. I
creepy
found these
serial killer.
incredible
It's what they
retro video
do.
game characters like Mario, Link,
How
and
cool
Cloud,
they
all
are.
with that same 80s vibe that we see in Security Breach. What if you want to change your
All right, I think let's
Maybe
just
you've moved
display
away
it
from
for the rest of
glam rock
this.
into something more traditional? No worries.
I'm gonna leave it playing, but I'm gonna do my little
Displate
outro,
signature
okay?
Technology is there to make the process easy and painless. Just
So
take
you know
the
that
old
was
poster off the wall
fun.
and put up new
That
ones.
was
No nails, no
definitely
holes, no
interesting.
problem.
Or
If
whatever
you go
that
down to the
was.
description below and click the link,
Oh,
you
of
can
course I
get
knew what that was.
23%
I am a
off 2
believer.
posters. And if you really want to go crazy, you can
I'm a
order 3
believer
or more
now,
Displate posters
officially.
And you'll get 29% off your order.
You know what? I'm not gonna order any display, so I'll just pause it. I am a firm believer in that. I never even thought that there was a chance that he didn't bring it up that Vanessa could be Circus Baby, and he didn't bring it up though about how hold on, let's see if I can find it. What's it called? FNAF Security Breach opening. No, it's trailer. Watch. Hold on a second. The original trailer, which came out a while ago. Yeah, I think it's this one. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna skip to the. Ah, no, wait, no, it wasn't that one. Fuck, I got that wrong. Hold on. Did she have green eyes? Okay, hold on. Well, hold up. Was I wrong about that? Was I wrong? Ah, shit, I was. Fuck, I thought they were yellow. Could have sworn I saw that they were yellow. I could have sworn. Maybe I was wrong. Sorry for wasting time in the middle of the video talking about that. I was wrong as hell. They were yeah, they were green. I thought they were Maybe it was the lighting in my room, because my lights were off when I watched that, so it might have looked yellow. It's very bright green. Never mind, Matt. Sorry for what I said. Okay, I sternly apologize for that. He didn't bring it up because I was wrong. I was so wrong about that. Well, hope that doesn't cause you to dislike this video, because there's really no point. Hope you subscribe, and we'll catch the next two. The next 2 game theories. I'm not even gonna look at them. I tried looking at them. They're too small text. I can see. But with that being said, this video is super long. I don't want to be 30 minutes, even though it's probably gonna be after I put my opening. After I put my outro in. Sorry for how long this video was. but I had a lot to say about these theories. I hope you enjoyed how enthusiastic I am about this Five Nights at Freddy's, learning all this bullshit and everything about it. But with that being said, as always, I'm Anthropomorphic Nerd, and I'll see you in the next video. So, bye.